What's up, Vibe Tribe? I'm your girl E, and welcome to my channel, Vibing with E, where over here, the vibes are always good. Now, if you read the description down below, I know you already know your girl is hitting y'all up with another, what? Story time. You got that right. Now, before I even get into this story, y'all please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share so y'all can get me pushing in this algorithm and we can build this vibe tribe. I'm trying to build something here. And yeah, just help your girl out. So yeah, let me just go ahead and get into this crazy story time. All right. Okay, so back in the day when I was young, I think this story time happened back when I was in middle school. So yeah. So back when I was younger, um, I used to go back and forth to New Jersey in the summertime and in the wintertime a lot to visit my dad. And yeah, I would just always go there to visit my dad, to visit my family, and just to have a good time. I live in North Carolina, so in the summer times and the winter times, or whenever I got any type of school break, I would go to New Jersey and just hang with my dad, hang with my family, and all that type of stuff because my mom and my dad weren't together. So, all right, so I'm in New Jersey. I'm chilling with my family. Yeah, I'm on summer break, right? So let me see. How do I want to put this? I had a cousin that was in the Navy, and she was stationed in Virginia. So towards the end of my summer break, my aunt and my uncle had told me that they were going to take me back home, but instead of taking me all the way home, they would meet my mom in Virginia because my cousin who was in the Navy at the time was stationed in Virginia, and we all wanted to go down there to see her. We haven't seen her in a while, so yeah, we all wanted to go see her, show her, our support and just to go see my cousin. So we did just that. And they told me that my mom would come there and hang out a little while and take me home. So, okay, cool. So I get all my stuff together and I'm excited. I spent the whole summer out of New Jersey. And y'all, I got plenty of story times about that. So I will be sharing. But so I spent the whole summer in New Jersey and I was jerseyed out by then. I was ready to go back home. So I was excited. I had got all my little school clothes, went shopping and all of that with my dad. And that was the one thing about it that I loved. Like I was low key spoiled when I went up there. My dad would take me school shopping and then my aunt would take me school shopping. Like, what? So I'm coming back to North Carolina with all types of clothes and sneakers and stuff that nobody down here was wearing. So yeah, your girl was fresh to death when she came back to school. I couldn't wait. So I'm just excited. Now, to give a little backstory, my mom was married, but she divorced my stepdad. So at the time, my mom was a single mother, right? All right. So we go to Virginia. I go to Virginia with my aunt and my uncle, and we go visit my cousin. And we're there. We're having a good time. We haven't, like I said, we haven't seen her in a while. So I'm glad to see my big cousin. Like she was somebody that I looked up to, and I eventually thought about going into the Navy myself, all because of my cousin. And I was a kid that was in ROTC when I was in high school. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I think this would be the path that I would want to take one day. So yeah, I'm just there, living it up, just in bliss, in awe of my cousin, and we just having a good time. So I'll say maybe after being there, maybe an hour and a half, my aunt tells me that my mom called and said she's about 10, 15 minutes away. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm getting ready to see my mom. I know she got my little sisters with her. I can't wait. So in my cousin's apartment, and we just in there chilling. And while we in there chilling, my aunt happens to be looking out the window. So when she looks out the window, she like, I'm trying to think of a name. The name, I don't want to say my mom's actual name. I'm just going to call her Tangy, and that's not my mom's name. So my aunt was looking out the window, and she was like, who who that with Tangy? And my cousin runs to the window and she like, what? So they looking, and my aunt like, child. And she was like, but whoever he is, he look good. You know, Tangy gonna keep a man. Tangy keeps a man. And I'm like, what? What is they talking about? As far as I know, my mom ain't got no man. When I left, my mom ain't had no man. So um, I'm like, what? So I go to the window and I look too. And when I look, I see my mom getting out of the car and some man getting out of the car with her. I ain't never seen this man before a day in my life. I'm just looking like, who is this man? And then I went to New Jersey, like I said, for summer break. So I probably was up there no more than 3 weeks. So who's this man? So my mom comes to the door, and I run and open the door. I'm just excited to see my mom, and I'm just hugging her and stuff. And I'm like, Mom, I'm so happy to see you. I missed you so much, this, that, and the third. And I'm looking like, where my sisters? Where my sisters at? And she was like, oh, I didn't bring them. They with their dad. They good. You will see them when we get back home. I think they coming home later on throughout the week or something like that. So she was like, yeah, you'll see them later. So I'm like, okay. I kind of miss my sisters. Like, I miss them. So then it's this man standing behind her. So I'm looking him up and down like, who is this? So my mom grabs the man by the hand and pulls him beside her. And she's like, hey, y'all. And my aunt, hey, girl. Hey, boo. How you doing? And my aunt like, I want y'all to meet my boyfriend, Jody. So I'm looking at her like, Jody, who is this? Okay. So, yeah, I was feeling some type of way, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, because I was used to my mom being with my stepdad, and then they weren't together. So, yeah, who is this stranger? So, that was that. She introduced Jody, and, he said hey to my aunt and all of them, and they had a little conversation, and that was that. So, I think my mom might have stayed there for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then we went on ahead and put my stuff in her car, and we headed on out. And before I left, my aunt and my uncle, they hugged me, kissed me, loved me down. They both gave me, which used to be so funny to me, because I think both of them would be giving me money and not even knowing it. Like, I think my uncle would think that he was sneaking me money on the side. Like, when I was getting ready to leave, he would give me $100, and he would tell me, don't give it to your mom, don't give it to nobody. This money is just for you. So I'm like, okay, thank you, uncle. And then I'll go give my aunt a hug or whatever, and then she'll slip me $50 and be like, don't give it to your mom, don't give it to nobody, spend it on you. And I'm just like, okay, so I got me $150. So so I got my little money, got my stuff, and we got in the car and we headed on back home. So by the time we got home, it was nighttime, it was dark. And it was just me, my mom, and Jody. So on the way to the house, I'm just sitting in the car. I ain't said nothing, really. I'm just riding. And the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, who is this man? Like, why is he here? Why did she bring him here? I'm just upset the whole time, for real, for real. Like, why is this man here? So we get home, and when we get home, we pull up in the driveway. And when we pull in the driveway, y'all, like I said, it was nighttime. It was dark by the time we got home. So when we pulled up in the driveway, I'm sitting up in the back seat, y'all, looking around, looking at my driveway, looking for Jody's car. Because I'm thinking to myself, I know as soon as we get here, Jody's going to get in his car and he's going to go home. Right? So when we get there, I'm looking around and I'm looking and I'm like, I don't see no car. Jody ain't got no car. Yeah, at a young age, like, I'm peeping game. Like, I'm looking at stuff. So I'm looking like, this man ain't got no car. Okay. So we get out the car, we get our bags. Jody grabs my bag and we go into the house. Me, Jody, and my mom, we all go into the house. So when we go into the house, my mom is putting my clothes up in my room and stuff like that or whatever. And Jody is kicking off his shoes and relaxing his feet. Walking around, I seen him go to the refrigerator, grab out a beer, pop it open, go sit in the living room, cross his feet, wiggling his toes, grab the remote, and turn the TV on. What? Do he pay bills here? So I'm just looking like, do he got a house? Is he going home? So, no. Jody actually spends the night, and it starts to seem as if Jody was living there. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I've been gone for about 3 weeks, and my mama got a new man, and he living with us. Okay, okay. So, whatever. And then, like, people think kids don't peek the things that's going on around them because they're kids and y'all are adults. But we be looking, like, kids be knowing. Just when people think that they can do some stuff and slip it by kids, y'all think kids ain't paying attention or kids don't know what's going on. They know. So, like I said, when I seen that going on, I'm just like, oh, okay. I guess it's her man or whatever. So, I go to bed and that's that. Jody is there. Like, Jody ain't never leave after that. Jody was there. And come to find out, yeah, Jody ain't had no car. Jody ain't had no house of his own. So, yeah, Jody was a homosexual. All right, so now I'm going to get into the story. That was just a little backstory to the story. So now I can get into the deeps of the things that was really going on. Okay, so my mom tells me that, I guess over the course of time, like asking her questions about Jody or whatever, I find out that Jody has 3 kids. And yeah, he got 3 kids and they don't live with him or near him. And sometimes he goes to visit them, or they might come to his mom's house and he'll maybe go stay at his mom's until the kids go back home, that type of situation. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. So Jody is a Jody. Okay. So yeah. So my mom tells me one day, I don't know if me and my sisters were going out or what, but my mom tells me one day that it's one of his daughter's birthday. And the daughter stays about 2, maybe 3 hours away. And he had been talking back and forth to the mom, and he wanted to do something for his daughter's birthday. So I think his mom actually lived near where his daughter lived at. So they were going to get together. His mom, him, and my mom were going to get together, I guess, so my mom could meet the little girl or whatever the case may be. And they were just all going to get together and take her out for her birthday. They were going to take her to Chuck E. Cheese. So, okay. And I think his baby mama didn't trust him actually having her on his own. So he couldn't go nowhere unless baby girl's grandma, unless his mom was there, basically. So if his mom wasn't there in on the plans, baby girl was not getting dropped off. Baby girl was not going nowhere. So that was red flag number 1. This woman don't even trust you with her own, with your own kid. So yeah, that was a red flag, Mom. So they go and they take a little girl to Chuck E. Cheese for her birthday. And like I said, I didn't go, but I'm just going to tell basically what was told to me by my mom. So my mom tells me they go to Chuck E. Cheese and they having a good time. The little girl, my mother tells me how beautiful the little girl is. Her mom had her dressed up so pretty, and she was just like, yeah, the little girl was so adorable. She looked just like Jody. I could tell that's Jody, baby. Jody could not deny that one. It looked like he spit her out. She's so adorable, and she's so respectful. She says, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, all that type of stuff. Like, she's a very respectable little child. And I think the little girl was maybe turning 4 or 5 at the time. So, yeah. So, my mom says, while They're at Chuck E. Cheese, and her and Jody's mom is just sitting back, chilling, watching Jody and his daughter play a few games. They start to interact and have a conversation, him and Jody's mom. So Jody's mom just started to tell her about, it's my son, I love him. He been through a few things. Jody been in and out of jail. Jody been this and Jody been that. But that's my only son. I love Jody down. And she was just saying, I'll do anything for Jody. She was like, and I love Jody, and I love Jody, and I'm glad that he was able to bring me beautiful grandbabies. I love all my grandbabies, all six of my grandbabies. And when she says that, my mom is like, what? Six? And then the mother tells her, yeah, six. So my mom is like, she didn't want to make a scene about it or whatever, so she didn't really say much. But yeah, the whole time this man telling you he got three kids, all along he actually had six. So let me fast forward from that. Okay, I think it was maybe later on in that year. And yeah, it was later on that year. I'll say around the summertime, or it might have been spring break. So spring break was coming up, and I guess Jody had been talking to my mom about how he had three daughters with this other woman, and he hadn't seen them in a while, and he had been talking to them, and they wanted to come down and spend the spring break with us. Well, with him. And he told her, well, I have a girlfriend, and she got kids, but I'm pretty sure they could come. So I guess him and my mom have a conversation, and then they come back and sit me and my sisters down and relate the story to us. So I'm going to give my two sisters names. So I'm the oldest. My middle sister, I'm going to name her Tip, and my youngest sister, I'm going to name her Lele. So one day my mom comes in my room and she tells me, come sit in the living room. Me and Jody want to talk to y'all. So I'm like, okay. And y'all, in my head, for real, I thought my mom was going to come tell me her and Jody was going to get married. Because I was getting ready to say, Lord, why? So I'm just like, okay. So I get up and I go sit in the living room. And when I get in there, Jody is already in there sitting down. My sister Tiff and Lele, they in there. So I come and I'm just looking like, what's going on? And I don't know. I always been that little chocolate girl with that feisty attitude. I don't know what it is. And it's crazy. That's always been me, y'all. I always had this little feisty attitude, and I don't be meaning to do it. That's just me. So my mom tells me, well, y'all know Jody got kids or whatever, and three of his daughters would like to come spend spring break with us. So at first I'm just like, what? Three of them at one time go come spend the spring break with us. So I'm mama like, yeah, it's three of y'all. It could be three of them, and we could be like the Brady Bunch. No, we cannot. So she was like, yeah, he talked to his baby mom or whatever, and she's fine with the girls coming out and spending spring break with us. So, I agree with it. I think it'll be something good, and Jody get to be around his kids, and his kids get to be in another environment, because where they live at, I think they live. And this is no disrespect to nobody that live in the projects or nothing like that, because I ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, I'm not judgmental, is what I'll say. I've been in some projects, been in trap houses and that type of stuff, so I ain't judging at all. But yeah, this is just where they live. So my mom was just saying, yeah, they live out in the projects, and in a hood type environment where a lot of stuff is going on, and I don't really think the girls get to really go out and play and do much like that. So it'll be great for them coming down here to the country. We live in this nice big house. We got all this big yard and all this land out here, and the girls can run around and be free and have a good time like y'all. And she ain't lying. Like, we had a nice size house, we had a nice yard, and we used to always run outside. Like, unlike the kids today that want to sit in the house and be on TikTok 24/7, us back in the day, we stayed outside, we stayed running around. And like I said, we lived in the country. And in the country, it ain't nothing but woods. And when I say me, my cousins, and my sisters used to always be running through the woods, just looking for adventures and getting scared and running out the woods or going in the woods for hours and getting lost. Like, we stayed doing something. So yeah, so my mother was like, yeah, I think it'll be a different environment for them, and it'll be something great. And then y'all could get, get acquainted with them and have y'all some new little friends or whatever, and whatever. So I'm just like, okay. So then I'm like, well, how old are your daughters, Jody? So he was like, well, they a little younger than y'all. Um, his oldest daughter, now I was in middle school, and I'm thinking at this time I was 12. So I think the youngest daughter, well, the oldest daughter was maybe 10. The middle daughter was 6. And I'll say the youngest one was 5. I'll say that. It was somewhere around there. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, cool. So he was like, yeah, they just a little younger than y'all. Well, a little younger than me anyway, because my sisters was around their age. So I was like, okay, cool. So when they supposed to be coming? And Jody was like, well, we're going to go pick them up tomorrow or whatever. So it's going to take us a few hours to get there and come back. So we'll be going most of the day. But yeah, we're going to go up there and pick them up and come back tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, cool. So my mom was just like, so y'all make sure y'all rooms and stuff is clean. Y'all have everything together. Because, of course, y'all know the girls are going to have to sleep in y'all room. But if they don't feel comfortable or they just all want to be together in a room, I can let them sleep all in the living room. But the way my youngest sister's room was set up, they had a bunk bed in their room, and they also had a twin bed or a full-size bed in their room too. Why they had that many beds for just them two, I have no idea. But yeah, so it was actually a bed big enough for the 3 girls to lay in together. So that's where they slept the whole time that they was there. So let me fast forward a little more. So my mom and Jody, the next day, they go to where they had to go to pick the girls up, right? So they go and pick the girls up, and the whole day, me and my 2 sisters, we at home, and we just sitting there, and we just thinking about it, and we talking amongst each other about it. Like, I wonder what Jody kids is like, and I wonder if they're gonna be weird or if they're gonna be fun, or we just wondering like how this gonna go down. And my middle sister, Tip, my sister, was just like, well, they better not come in here with no attitudes, because I don't got time for that mess. And I'm just laughing like, why would they come here with some attitudes? And she was just like, how kids be. Like she wasn't a kid, but she like, how kids be. They go somewhere, and because they parent there or something, they think they run stuff. I hope they don't come here thinking they're gonna run us, because this is not your daddy house. This is my mama house. And I'm dying laughing. I'm like, right? And my younger sister, Lele, she didn't really say much. She was really, really young. She didn't really say much. She was just happy to be having some new friends coming around. So we just sitting at the house, watching TV all day, eating snacks, just waiting on them to come back. So by the time they get home, it's almost dark outside, night. So when they get home, I'm running to the door like, let me see these kids. So we went to the door when they pulled in the driveway, and we opened it, and we just standing there waiting for them to get out the car and come into the house. So I see these 3 little girls get out the car, and they walking behind Jody, looking a little nervous, but they were all lined up, walking behind Jody. And my mom comes in first. So my mom come to the house first. She's like, why y'all all up at the door? Get back. So I'm like, Mom, we're just trying to see. So she was like, get back. Y'all gonna scare the little girls away. So I'm like, ain't nobody gonna scare them. So my mom comes in the house, and then Jody comes in, and he has these three little girls coming in the house behind him. So when they come in, I look, and they were so adorable to me. I'm just like, oh, Jody, these your kids? They so cute. And they look just like you. And when I say that, the little girls' faces just light up. And I'm not going to lie, these were some beautiful little girls. They were so beautiful. And they looked like Jody. So I'm just like, oh, y'all so cute. And they just, thank you. So my sisters was just looking at them like, hey. And they waving back. And before you knew it, y'all, it was kind of weird because we just all lined up. Me and my two sisters, and then Jody's three kids. It's like we like this, facing each other, and we just all looking at each other, just like, hey. So Jody was like, tell them y'all names. So the oldest daughter goes, well, my name Alexis. This my little sister, Portia. And then the little one on the end, that's Meatball right there. So we start laughing and we like, Meatball? And she like, yeah, that's her nickname. We call her Meatball. So yeah, that's Meatball. So we is dying laughing like, okay, Meatball. And it was funny because she was a little round girl, but she was so adorable. So we like, okay, Meatball. So we laughed and we talked about that for a little bit. So then my mom was telling us, well, show the girls where they'll be sleeping tonight. So me and my sisters, we get their little bags and we walk them into my sister's room and I showed them the bed. And I was like, all three of y'all can lay right there. So y'all will be fine. Y'all don't have to worry about nobody else laying with y'all or nothing like that. My sisters got their own bed and then I got my own room. So it was like, okay. So pretty much since it was already dark and like I said, nighttime, it really wasn't much that we could do. We couldn't go outside or nothing like that. So I think my mom had ordered a pizza or something. And so we ate and just chilled and watched movies all night. And I think we all actually ended up falling asleep in the living room. We all made us a big pallet on the floor and we watched movies and we ate pizza and stuff. And just was little girls all night and fell asleep. So the next day, I get up and I get everybody breakfast. I poured everybody some cereal. That's what I did. So we all got us some cereal and we ate. And then my two younger sisters were all ready to go outside at the crack of dawn. So they telling the other little girls, telling Jody's daughters, come on, let's take a shower, let's put our clothes on, and we're gonna go outside and play. So they did just that. They all got up, took their showers and everything. They got dressed and they headed straight outside. Me, on the other hand, I was 12 years old. So in my mind, I'm about to be 13. I'm a teenager. I'm finna sit in this house and watch the real world in Degrassi while the little kids outside playing. And if I get the urge to go outside, I would go outside. But for the most part, I was grown. So I'm sitting in the house. I'm chilling and watching TV, having me a good old time. So I think my mom and Jody ends up telling me that they were going grocery shopping and they had like a few little errands to run. So they were going to leave all of us at the house and they were going to go run a few errands. At the time, y'all, I know you probably listening to this like, they mama sure was leaving them at the house a lot. But where we lived at, it was a family plot. So it was a big plot of land that my grandma owned, and she split up between all her children. And my grandma had 7 children. So each plot, well, the majority of the plots, because all of them didn't live down there, but each plot had a house on it. So my aunts and uncles lived out there too. So if anything was to happen or to go down, they right there. So yeah, my mom and Jody, they left, and yeah, so I'm still sitting in the house chilling. My sisters and Jody's kids are outside. Also, I got a cousin which lived in that family plot. He was out there, his friends, and another one of our cousins. So it was a bunch of kids outside just playing. So they out there playing kickball. I can hear them out there having a good time, yelling and screaming, whatever. So the Jody's daughter, Portia, comes running in the house. So Portia comes in the house, and Portia was the middle daughter. I think that's why I named the middle daughter. So Portia comes running in the house, and she's like, man, I don't want to go outside no more. I want to sit in here and watch TV with you. Them boys are mean. They playing too rough. So I'm like, what's going on? So she was like, we just started playing kickball, and when they tagged me out, they threw the ball, but they hit me real hard. The boys throwing the ball too hard. They hurting us. So I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, they keep doing too much. They just throwing the balls at us all hard. They don't have to do all of that. So I was like, let me see what's going on. So I go outside, I open the door, and I yell at my cousin like, hey, and I'm going to name my cousin Cash. So I name my cousin, So I yell out my cousin, I'm like, Cash, come here. So my cousin Cash comes over to the house, and they were all out in my yard, which was like a big field. They was all out in my front yard. So Cash comes up. He like, yeah, what's up? So I'm like, Portia said y'all hitting them too hard with the kickball. And he was like, man, ain't nobody even hit her. He said she just mad because every time she kicked the ball, she get out. And that's why she came in here. Ain't nobody here with the ball. She never got hit with the ball. Her sister, Alexis, got hit with the ball. Meatball got hit with the ball. They ain't crying. We never hit her. She get out before we even hit her. Like, so that's why she mad, because every time she kick the ball, she don't even get to the first base and she get out. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just like, well, Portia, if you out, you out. Like, you can't be mad, baby. And she like, no, they hitting me. I say, well, if they hitting you and you don't want to be out here playing with them, come on in here and watch the real world with me. You can watch TV with me. I'm fine with that. So Portia comes in the house with me, and she stays in there for about 5 minutes. And next thing you know, Portia back out the door. So, I ain't thinking nothing else. Okay, fine. So they go outside, and they back out there playing again. I hear the kids yelling and screaming. They having a good old time. So maybe 30 minutes pass by. I'm watching my shows, y'all. Eating sunflower seeds, because sunflower seeds was my shit. So I'm eating sunflower seeds to the point where the lining of my mouth is white, because I done ate so much sunflower seeds and so much all of that salt and stuff. It like on the inside of my mouth raw. That's how I used to eat sunflower seeds. Don't judge me. So maybe like 30 minutes go by, and my mom pulls up and Jody. So they come in the house, and my mom is like going off, and she like, they know damn well they ain't supposed to be down there. This, that, and the third. Don't make no sense. Blah, this, blah, that. And got them babies down there like that. Blah, 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 blah. Just going in. So I'm like, what's wrong, Mom? And she was like, did you know your sisters was down the street? And I was like, what you mean down the street? They were supposed to be in the front yard. She said, I'm about a mile from the house. I'm driving down the street, and I see your cousin Cash and the other boys riding on their bikes. And all the girls is running behind them up the damn street. Why is they up the street? Why you ain't watching them? And I'm like, I ain't know they was up the street. The last I know, they was outside. A mile up the street. And like where we live, we in the country. It's not like you running down a road with a sidewalk. You running down country streets. Straight trees and grass and dirt. Like y'all running down country streets. Now the streets were paved. We going out there like that. But y'all, we in North Carolina, in the boonies, in the woods, in the sticks, and y'all running a mile down the road. One of those big 18 wheelers could come by and run y'all over or anything. Like, what the hell is y'all thinking? So I'm asking my mom, like, what the girls at? And she was like, I told them to walk their ass back home. So I'm like, y'all left them? And she was like, yeah, I told them y'all ran up here, y'all can walk back. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'll give it maybe 15, 20 minutes later, the girls come in the house. And when they come in the house, they all out of breath. They all sweating. Their little baby hairs done balled up now because they've been running outside in that heat and running a mile up the street. So you ran a mile up the street and a mile back. These babies just ran 2 miles. ridiculous. So I'm just like, what was y'all doing up the street? What's the reason? So Jody's youngest daughter, Meatball, goes, Cash hit Lele, Cash hit Lele, didn't hit Alexis, didn't Cash hit Lele, Alexis? And the oldest daughter, Alexis, is like, yeah, we was outside playing and the boys got mad and they left. And then they came back, rolling their bikes down the hills. And while we was standing outside and they was coming past us, Lele was standing out there and she stuck her tongue out at Cash. And when she stuck her tongue out at Cash, as Cash was riding by on the bike, he punched Lele in the chest real hard. So when he punched Lele in the chest, we started chasing him. So I'm like, what? He punched my sister. And they like, yeah. So I'm like, I know Cash ain't out there trying to show off because you out there with them boys. I know Cash not showing off. He know we don't even do that. So they was like, yeah, he hit her. And she started crying. So that's why we chased him. So at this point, I'm mad because I'm like, I know you lying. You was a boy. And Cash was about my age. Like me and Cash, this is how close me and Cash was. Me and Cash were 2 years apart, but our birthday was on the same day. Geminis. Crazy. So, yeah. So I'm like, I know he ain't. So they like, yeah. He hit her in front of little boys and was laughing and stuff, and they all rode off on the bikes. So we chased them because we was going to beat them up. But by the time we got up the street, your mom and my dad came. So I'm like, oh, okay. So my mom and Jody is sitting there listening, and they like, he did what? And they like, yeah, he hit her. And they looking at my sister like, Lele, didn't he hit you? And Lele is just like, yeah, he hit my chest, and he rolled past on the bike, and he was laughing, and this and that, and I'm so hurt. And so I'm just like, not my baby sister. And if anybody know me, I am protective over my sisters, especially that baby one. Don't play with her. Don't do it. I would put a brick through a hospital for my sister. Like, don't even knock one of my sister's baby heads out of place. Like, don't do it. So when he say that, I'm 38, I'm hot. So I'm like, oh yeah, so that's what we doing? So we gonna see who like to get hit when he come back. So the girls is like, yeah, because that's crazy. He hit her and they was laughing and they did this and they did that. So I'm like, you out here hitting on little girls? Well, now I'm a big girl, so come hit on me. So me and the girls is all talking about it or whatever. We go back outside in my front yard. So we in the front yard and we just talking about it, and the little girls is like, yeah, still telling me, he hit Lele, he made Lele cry, he did this and he did that, and I told you. And Portia is just like, I told you, he was throwing that ball and hitting me hard earlier. He was just being mean all day. So I'm like, oh yeah, and they just like, yeah. So I said, you know what? Jody finna catch these. I mean, not Jody. I said, you know what? My cousin Cash, he finna catch these hands. Because ain't no way you're going to be putting your hands on my little sister and get away with it. So we sitting out there and we talking about it. And the oldest daughter, Alexis, is like, you really going to fight him for hitting your sister? And I'm like, yeah. So she's like, what you going to do? So I'm telling her, when he come up, I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and concoct this plan. This is what we going to do. When he pull up, because I know he's going to be on that bike, I'm just going to ask him, did he hit my sister? Did he hit Lele? And I told him, when I ask him that, y'all, I'm going to stand right there in front of him on the bike. Y'all get behind him. And I just told them, so while I'm up there talking junk, I said, as soon as he lie and say no, he didn't hit y'all, drag him off that bike. So they were like, what? I said, yeah, it's 5 of y'all. Drag him off the bike. I'm going to push the bike to the side and I'm going to go in. So they like, okay, all right. And I was like, and this going to be the thing. If y'all don't know the point when to drag him off the bike, while we out there arguing or talking and conversating, I'm going to hit my thigh like this. I'm just going to hit my thigh. And when you see me doing that while we in the argument, that's your cue to drag him off the bike. So they're like, okay, we gonna do it, that's what we gonna do, that's the plan. So I'm like, yeah, because we finna get him. So once we concoct this plan, we sitting there and we just waiting and just waiting and just waiting and just waiting. And we probably waited out here for maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We was outside just waiting because it started getting a little dark when Cash was riding up, when he was coming back. So I'm outside in the yard and we had started playing kickball ourselves and tag and all types of stuff, just running out there. I'm just playing with the girls. We just, having a little time. So while I'm out there playing, my sister Lele yells, "There go Cash. There he go, y'all." So when she said that, I look. I'm like, "Oh yeah? Okay, that's my cue." So when I see him, he's riding his bike, getting ready to ride past my house. But I walk right in the middle of the pathway and stop him dead in his tracks. So I'm standing right in front of his bike. So I'm like, "Cash, let me ask you a question." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "So you hitting on my little sister now? You trying to show off for these little boys?" And Cash looked at me and he like, "Hitting on your sister? Ain't nobody hit your sister. Which sister I hit?" I said, "You know damn well you was riding on that bike and you punched Lele in her chest. Lele came in here hollering and crying because you hit her in the damn chest." And he was like, "I ain't hit Lele in the chest." And I'm like, "Yes, you did. What are you lying for? All them girls out here seeing you do it. And they chased you all the way down the street. What would they be chasing you down the street for?" And he was like, "Because they just wanted to chase me. They just was running after us. I ain't hit them." So I'm mad. So I'm like, "I'm going to ask you one more time." And as I'm saying this, I'm hitting my leg. So I'm like, "Did you hit my sister? You hit my sister?" And he just looking like, "No, I said I didn't hit her." And all the girls are standing behind him while he's on his bike and I'm in the front. So I'm hitting my leg, arguing with him, but I'm looking at them like, "Pull him off the bike. Like, what are y'all doing? Pull him off the bike." So the whole time I'm tapping my leg and I'm looking at them. My sisters and Jody kids is just looking at me like little deers in headlights, like nobody is doing nothing. So I'm just like, you know what? Damn all this talking. I'm like, "Jody, hit me. You want to hit my sister? Hit me." And Jody was like, "I ain't hit your sister." And I'm like, "Yes, you did. You hit my sister." And he was like, "I did not hit your sister." I said, "Jody, get off the bike. Get off the bike, Jody. Jody, get off the bike." Because we finna throw them hands. So Jody is still sitting there like, I said I didn't hit them. So when he said that, I just, boom, hit Jody all in this. By then, Jody was mad. He threw that bike down and we tussling. We going at it. So me and Jody just thumping, just thumping, just thumping. We going in. I'm on him. Boom, 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 boom. Jody might try to pull me off of him. I'm back on. Boom, 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 boom. I'm so mad. I'm just going in. I'm just hitting. I'm just going off. So Jody kept trying to football tackle me. So when he tried to pick me up and tackle me, I guess legs got a little weak or whatever. And I ended up pushing him. And when I pushed Jody, Jody fell back on the ground. And I think he hit his mouth on the ground or something, because when he came back up, his mouth was bleeding a little bit. And at first I was looking like, oh shit. But then Jody got back up and tried to tackle me again. So when Jody tried to tackle me again, I don't know if I tripped him or I kicked him, but Jody fell on the ground again. And this time when he fell on the ground, Jody had long, thick hair. Like right now to this day, Jody's hair is long. Jody got real long dreads all the way down his butt right now. But back when we was young, Jody used to wear like these big afros like Ludacris. Or he would get his braids done and he would have thick, chunky braids because he had such thick hair. Like Jody's hair was so thick. I remember washing his hair one time and it was like all the water soaked up in his hair. And you couldn't even tell that I washed his hair or that water was in his hair until I squeezed it out and all the water came out. Like Jody's hair was like a sponge. But I loved it. He had so much hair. But Anyway, I'm getting off subject. But yeah, so when I kicked Jody and Jody fell on the ground before he could get back up, I'm just looking at him and I'm seeing these long braids dangling. And I'm mad, y'all. And I'm like, you hit my sister and you out here trying to show off in front of these boys when you know we family, like we stick together, we do this, we like I'm going in because I'm mad because I know how close my mom and his mom is. I know how close I am to his sisters, and like I didn't want to fight him, like I didn't want to do it, but I was mad and I felt like I had to stand up for my sisters. So I'm like, yeah, you want to hit my sisters and you want to do all of this? Before I knew it, I grabbed Jody by his braids and I started swinging. Started walking around in circles. And I'm swinging Jody, y'all. I'm swinging Jody. Y'all know how Miss Trunchbull swung that little girl on Matilda by them two ponytails? I had Jody like that. Like lifting this boy up off his feet, swinging him. Jody, not Jody. I keep saying Jody, not Jody, y'all. My cousin Cash. So I got Cash by his braids and I am swinging him by his hair. And yeah, so my cousin Cash, if you ever watch the story time, I'm sorry, baby, but let me go on with the story. So I'm swinging Cash, just swinging him, I'll swing him around, drop him down, then I'll pick him up again, swing him around again and drop him down. So while I'm doing this, all the girls out there just yelling, yeah, get him, can't do this, get him. They just hollering. Nobody jumped in to help like the plan was, but they out there yelling, cheering it on. By this time, my mom comes out there to break it up, and I'm into it, fighting so bad. Like my mom trying to push me and get me off of him. I'm hitting at her too. My mom like, look, you hit me one more time, you will have another fight on your damn hands. So I'm just like, Mom, no, he hit my sister. So my mom like, Cash, get on your bike and go home, and I'm gonna call your mom. So Cash is just like, I ain't hit her. He's still saying he didn't hit her. And Jody's kids is just yelling, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And at this time, I'm noticing a little bit, but I'm not really noticing because my adrenaline is rushing. I'm mad. All this shit is going on. So Jody kids is yelling, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You know you hit them. But my sisters is just sitting back like dang. So Jody ends up going home. And when Jody gets home, 5 minutes later, my aunt is ringing my mom's line like, what is going on? What in the hell happened to, I keep saying Jody, y'all, Cash. If I keep saying Jody, I mean Cash. Jody, my mama's boyfriend, Cash is the cousin. So Cash mom called and she just going off and she just like, I can't believe this. Y'all out there fighting like that. Y'all cousins, y'all family, y'all ain't supposed to be doing that. And E, you out here jumping on Cash like he's some ninja off the streets. You ain't supposed to do your family like that. And I'm just like, well, he hit my sister. He wasn't supposed to hit her either. So I protected her. And my aunt's just like, this don't make no sense. So then one of Cash's older sisters get on the phone. And she's just like, E, you shouldn't have done that. You should have brought him up here and talked to us first and figured out what was going on. Y'all shouldn't be fighting like that. We family, this, that, and the third. And now, being wrong, I see where I was wrong. But your girl was mad. So I'm just like, listening to them on the phone, just going on one end, out the other, like, yeah, whatever. He hit my sister, so he got that with. So after that, we all go in the house. They in there, the girls are in there talking about it. And they just like, yeah, he hit her. And blase this, blase that, and I can't believe you actually fought him, whatever. So we just in there talking about it, and that's that. Like, the day goes on, whatever. So I'm gonna fast forward until the next day. So the next day, I'm at home, I'm chilling, and around this time, my mom has to go to work, and Jody had to go to work. So they both went to work. We at the house all day. We just chilling, playing, going outside, whatever, just having a good time. So by the time they get back, from work or whatever. My mom comes home, she cooks us dinner. We all take our little showers, we get settled in and watching movies together and just chilling. Now, let me see. I'll let me rewind back a little bit. I'll say they all took their showers because I didn't take mine yet. I was just chilling, just in my own little zone. I don't think I was ready to lay down or nothing yet. So yeah. So later on at night, I'm in my room and I'm talking to my little boyfriend on the phone, right? And yeah, because my mom had me my own phone line in my room. If y'all know, y'all know. Because I got tired of trying to be on the phone talking to my little boyfriends, and my mama picking up the phone and can hear my conversation. So for my birthday, she got me my own line for my room, and I was excited. I loved it. And my mom, oh my God, y'all, she used to mess with me all the time. My mom would call my line, and I would answer the phone, not knowing who it is. And my mom, hey, you been messing with my man, or you talk to my man. Like my mom would do weird shit like that. So I'm just like, what? So yeah, like I said, I had my own phone line, and I was excited. So I'm talking to my boyfriend and just sitting there chilling, listening to my little music, probably listen to Ashanti movies because that was my ish. So I'm just chilling, and in my room, I'm laying across my bed chilling, and in my room, I had some Valentine's Day stuff that my boyfriend had got me for Valentine's Day, and yeah, so it was sitting on my dresser. I had a card, and I had a Valentine's. It was a rose, but it was made out of chocolate, and it was like it had like a red foil on it, so it looked like a rose. And it had like a long green stem from it. I think it was made by Hershey's, and it was in this thick box that basically showcased the rose. And I didn't want to eat it because it was so cute, and I got it from my boyfriend, so I just had it in my room, as like a little decoration or whatever. So I'm in my room chilling, talking to my boyfriend on the phone, and Jody's oldest daughter, Alexis, comes in. And I didn't mind that she was in my room. I'm in there, in my own zone, not really even paying attention to her. She came in, and I'm just like, whatever. So I'm still talking, laying on the bed, and in my own zone. And she's in my room just looking through stuff, looking around, playing with stuff. I had a few posters on the wall, so I seen her standing there just eyeing the posters and looking and stuff. And she's like, oh, you got a lot of stuff in your room. You got a lot of posters. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I love my posters, girl. I be putting them up. I be getting them Word Up magazines. Child used to take them out the store sometimes. Had my Bow Wow posters up, my B2K. Yes, I had them. So I was like, yeah, girl, I get these posters out of these magazines and this, that, and the third. Just showing her. She was like, oh, I'm going to tell my mama to get me some of these. So, she just in there looking while I'm on the phone. So while I'm in there on the phone talking, she grabs my chocolate rose off my dresser. And she was like, this candy for real? And I was like, yeah, it's chocolate. And she was like, can I have it? And I was like, no, you can't have that. My boyfriend gave me that for Valentine's Day. That's why the card is sitting beside it. And she was like, oh, so you still got it from Valentine's Day? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to eat it. I want to keep it. So she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, don't mess with that. Don't eat that. You can eat anything else, but don't eat that. You can put it back up there. So she was like, okay. So she put it back. I'm sitting in my room chilling, still talking on the phone. So once I get off the phone with my boyfriend, I'm just like, let me go take my shower and relax or whatever. So I take my shower, and the whole time I'm in the shower, Alexis is still in my room. Me, I ain't thinking nothing of it. Have at it, boo. So Alexis in my room or whatever, and I get out the shower, and when I get out the shower and I come in my room, I got my little towel around me. So I'm like, okay, Alexis, you can go. I'll let you come back in later. So she just looking like eyes looked all big at me, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, nothing. I was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, you can come back in once I get dressed, or whatever. So she's like, okay, okay. So she hurries up and she goes out my room. Still thinking nothing of it, y'all. So time goes on. Let me fast forward. So I'll say maybe a few days later because we were getting along pretty fine. Things were good. Like we were having a good time. I was, excited that they were there. We had somebody to chill with and girls because we were the only girls. Me and my two sisters were the only girls around there because my other cousin was a boy. He always brought a lot of our other boy cousins around, other boys. So yeah, we were just excited to have what was I getting ready to call them? We was excited to have some allies with us, some more girls. So I liked them being there, to be honest. Okay, so a few days later, I'm at the house again, and my mom and Jody are at work. So they at work, and me and the girls, we just in the house doing what we do. Me, like always, I'm in the house watching The Real World, always. So I'm sitting there watching The Real World, and all the girls are in my youngest sister's room. And all of a sudden, I hear a whole bunch of commotion. I hear a whole bunch of commotion and tussling going on, and I'm like, what the hell? And all I hear is just boom, boom, boom. Ow! Stop! No, that ain't yours. Leave me alone. I can play with it if I want to. No, you can't. Yes, I can. And just a lot of that going on. So I'm like, what the hell? So I go into my sister's room and I'm like, what y'all got going on in here? And my sisters are like, basically saying, Jody kids, they here trying to take over our stuff. They in here acting like this day room or something. They don't even want us to play with our own stuff and keep snatching stuff and this, that, and the third. And I'm telling them, and my sisters are like, and this is not their stuff. This is ours. They could play with it, but this is not their stuff. So I'm like, do it really matter whose stuff it is? Like, what y'all? Come on, y'all. So my sister Tip is like, no, they really in here trying to take over E. They trying to take over. And it's not going to happen. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, Jody's kids, y'all come out the room for a while. Y'all come in the living room with me. We're going to sit in here and watch TV. Let my sister sit in here. Then I'm looking at my sister's room and I'm like, clean up. Clean this mess. So they like, well, we want the only ones in here playing. I'm like, well, this your house. They the guests. Clean y'all mess. So they in there, I guess, cleaning up, doing whatever. And then my sister Tip comes to her room door and looks over in the living room. She like, E, come in for a minute. So I'm just like, girl, what you want? So Tip like, come here, E, come here. So I'm like, all right. So I get up and I go in my sister's room and she closed the door. And she starts talking to me, but she whispering. And I'm like, why are you whispering? And she like, I gotta tell you something. So she was like, the reason why we was getting mad and started arguing was because Lele seen Meatball and Portia putting some of our toys in their bags. Like they want to take it home. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, look, I just looked through their other bag and look at all of this stuff that they got in there. This our stuff. So I look in the bag and the stuff that they had in the bag was legitimately our stuff. It was stuff that I remember my mom just got us for Christmas. We had a candy apple maker. They put that whole machine candy apple maker in their bag. We had a cotton candy maker we had got for Christmas. They put that in the bag. Some of my sister's toys and stuff, they had that stuff in the bag. And I'm just like, what do you think they doing with our stuff? So I come out the room with their bag, still full of my sister's toys and stuff. And I'm just like, yo, y'all was planning on taking this? And the oldest girl like, won't nobody finna take none. Ain't nobody gotta take none from y'all. Da, 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 da. Like started going in. And I'm like, hold on, wait, boo boo. You up here? I need you to be down here a few notches. Cause So I'm like, well, why stuff in y'all bag if y'all didn't plan on taking it? What's going on? My country coming out. So I'm like, what's going on? And they was like, we was just playing with the stuff. We was acting like grocery store. We was just playing. Grocery store my ass. Why stuff gotta be in your bag that you're gonna take back home with you? Zipped up, tucked away. type ish. Why, sis? So they just like, we ain't got no reason to steal from y'all, blah, 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 blah. So then we all end up getting into a big argument. Like all the girls, like me and my sisters and Jody's 3 kids. We all in the house just yelling, yelling, back and forth at each other, back and forth at each other. And this goes on for at least a good 2-3 minutes. We just going at it, saying whatever. And we telling them, I'm ready for y'all to go back home. Y'all come over here and we be nice to y'all and y'all want to steal our stuff and blah, 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 blah. And the girls is yelling back at us. We ain't got no reason to steal from for y'all. Y'all ain't got nothing that we want. Y'all ain't got nothing that we want to steal. They can't wait to go back home, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, well, bro, go back home then. Why are you still here? Go home. So when I say that, the oldest daughter grabs the house phone and calls her aunt. So she calls her aunt and tells her aunt what's going on or whatever. And her aunt tells her to put me on the phone. And me, I'm feeling like, can't nobody you call tell me nothing because you don't live here. You don't know the situation. You can't tell me nothing. So I grabbed the phone and I'm talking to the aunt and she like, hey, I'm Alexis' aunt. And y'all shouldn't be in there arguing and this, that, and the third, blah, this, blah, that. And I was like, well, they shouldn't be in here stealing our stuff. That's the reason why we arguing. They stole our stuff. So she was like, well, they didn't steal nothing. They still there. They with the stuff. I'm like, well, they had our stuff in their bags. I said, and then I skipped over this part, but while we were arguing, Meatball tries to hit Lele. So when she did that, I told her, you hit Lele if you want to. I'm going to make Lele beat you up. And it's nothing your sister's going to be able to do about it because me and Tip ain't going to let nothing happen to Lele. So the aunt was like, y'all shouldn't have them in there fighting. Y'all shouldn't be fighting or nothing like that. Blase this, blase that. And me, I'm just in my mind. I'm a 12-year-old grown mind. I'm just like, well, if they hit my sister going to hit them back. So after that, the Alexis grabs the phone back and she's talking back to her aunt. And the aunt tells Alexis something. I couldn't hear what she's saying, but she's talking to Alexis and Alexis is like, yeah, we want to come back home. No, my daddy's not here. No, he's at work. Her mom is at work. Blase this, blase that. So the aunt is telling Alexis something. She like, yeah, okay. They gonna take us home? Okay. So Alexis hangs up the phone. I'm just sitting there looking at her while she calls somebody else. So she calls somebody and she tells them that she wants to go home. And I'm just sitting there like, who is she calling? But at the same time, I'm like, I don't care. I hope they come pick them up and take all 3 of them home. I can't wait. So Alexis made that phone call, told the people, whoever, that she wanted to go home, blase this, blase that. 10 minutes later, we get a knock at the door. I open the door. It's a whole sheriff. So I'm like, what? Girl, you called the police on us. So I open the door and the sheriff is like, hey, young lady, we got a phone call about a disturbance here. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything is okay. He was like, well, we got a phone call from here, and then we got a phone call from another lady that lives, and he named the place that the girls were from, that Jody's kids were from. He said, yeah, we got a call from a lady there, and she was saying that it was a disturbance going on, and she wanted us to go get her nieces and bring them home. And he was like, I explained to her, for one, that's kind of far and it's out of our jurisdiction, so we won't be able to bring her home. Like, if it's that serious, the most that we could do is, pick them up, but she would have to come here to get them. So I'm like, what? So I'm looking at Alexis like, little girl, you called the cops on us? So the police officer was like, yeah, it's nothing to, be too alarmed about. And then he looks at me and looks me up and down. and looks me up and down again. And y'all, I really got a creepy feeling from him. Like, I started feeling real uncomfortable. And so I stepped back, like, in the door, like, I'm getting ready to close the door up some. So he was like, hold on, who here with y'all? And I'm like, it's just us. And he was like, well, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 12. He was like, well, yeah, you old enough to be here with the kids. And he was like, well, y'all don't be in here fighting and all of that stuff. Where your parents? And I was like, they at work. So he was like, okay, well, y'all don't be in here fighting and none of that. And when your parents get home, y'all just let them know. I'm pretty sure they'll know how to handle the situation. So he was like, y'all just be good until your mom get home, okay? And the little girl's like, yeah. And my sister's like, yeah, okay. And I'm just still like, so you can't take them home? And he laughed and he was like, no, baby, I can't take them home. So I'm like, okay. So I just closed the door. So I'm looking, after I close the door, I lock it and I turn around and I look at Alexis and I'm like, you called the cops on us? Oh yeah, you really finna get in trouble. I can't wait till my mama get here. I can't wait till she get here. So all day after that, we ain't talk to them. They didn't talk to us. We all mad. We all got attitudes because who? Girl. So I'm gonna fast forward it. Jody and my mom comes home. So when they come home, we tell them everything that happened, everything that was going on. And they were just looking in shock, like, because I know they probably was like, everything was fine. Like, how all of a sudden, you know? So yeah, we just start, me and my sisters really talked to my mom and just expressed to her how we ready for them to go. Like, I have been noticing, like, maybe the past few days or whatever, the oldest daughter, she would say like little slick stuff to my sisters or kind of like pick with them a little bit. But I'm like, we kids. But I didn't like it. Like, don't be picking with my sister. Don't do that. So I was just like, yeah. And they keep getting into our stuff. We telling our mom, look, ma, they trying to steal all our stuff that you got us for Christmas. So we opening up their bags, pulling all the stuff out. My mom was like, what? I know you lying. Take all that stuff out. They ain't taking that. So we taking all the stuff out, putting it back in my sister's closet and stuff. And she like, no, So she got their bags and just set them, lined them up on the bed and was like, yeah, once Jody talked to them or whatever, and I'm gonna have a talk with Jody, and yeah, they gonna have to go home. So that's exactly what happened. They got all their little stuff together, and my mom and Jody talked, and I think early that next morning they was pulling out heading home. So I don't even think we told them little girls bye or nothing. And we ain't never see them no more after that. So they take them home. And yeah, like I said, they took them home. So later on that night, I'm at home and I'm chilling, laying in my room, talking on the phone to my boyfriend, like always. And we just talking or whatever, just vibing. So I'm sitting in the room and I'm looking on my dresser while I'm talking to my boyfriend, and I'm noticing the big Hershey box with my rose is missing. So I'm like, where's my candy? So I'm looking around my room. I can't find it. I'm looking behind the dresser. I don't see it. I had like this little table in my room. I'm looking under the table. I don't see it. I'm looking in my closet. I don't see it. I'm just looking all over the room. Can't find it. So later on that night, I'm the type of person that like to clean house late at night, like maybe early in the morning, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's late. I'm chilling. I'm vibing in my room, listening to my Ashanti CD, Concrete Rose. If you know, you know. So I'm just vibing out, listening to my little CD or whatever. And I'm like, I want to change my room around. I want to move my bed from this side of the room over to this side of the room. And I want to put my Aaliyah poster up here. And I want to put my 50 Cent poster over there. And maybe my Bow Wow poster. So I'm just mapping out my room plan in my head before I actually do everything. So I'm just sitting there just thinking about it. So then I'm like, well, let me move this bed and see how to look over here before I make this big change. So I start moving my bed across the room. And I pull the bed across the room. When I pull it across the room, guess what I find? My rose, the candy. Alexis had ate the whole chocolate rose. The red foil that the rose was in was balled up on the floor, and she had even balled the stem up to in a box, was all balled up and crumbled up, and it was up under my bed. You talking about somebody mad? When I seen that, like it, I was so mad, y'all. I started crying. I picked it up and I took it to my mom, and I'm like, look what she did. Look what she did, Mom. Look what she did. I told her she couldn't have it. I told her she couldn't eat it. I told her my boyfriend brought this for me, and she still ate my candy. And my mom like, oh, she like, well, E, don't worry about it. I'll get you another little rose candy, girl. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, it's not the same. It came from my boyfriend. It's not going to be the same. So I was just upset 38 hot. And I'm just like, I hope Jody kids, don't bring none of Jody kids over here no more. I don't want to see no more of them kids, them baby's kids. So my mom was laughing. And she was like, girl, you ain't got to worry about that. Because when we took them back, and Jody was talking to their mama, and she had her words to say, and I said what I had to say, and that was that on that. And I was like, okay. So she was like, you ain't never got to worry about them kids coming back here. If Jody want to see them, they going to go to his mama house, and that's how he going to go see them. So I'm like, oh, okay. And that's the end of that story time. Y'all, that's how that ended. And yes, y'all, I was devastated because, girl, you ain't my rose. My little boyfriend gave me. Girl, is you cool? But yes, y'all, that's how that story ended. We never seen those kids again, and that was that. Life went on. And y'all, I forgot to add this part in, but the whole part about my little sister getting hit in the chest and the whole fight between me and Cash, that whole incident was a whole lie. My little sisters ended up telling me some years down the line that Cash never hit them in the chest. The little girls were sticking their tongues out at the boys, talking junk when they walked past, when they rode their bikes past. And they just decided to run down the street and chase them and told my sisters to come along with them. So once Jody and my mom pulled up and seen them, they lied and said that Cash hit Lele. Y'all, thank y'all so much for watching my story. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, y'all, always stay chill, always stay positive, and always be you. Until next time, Vibe Tribe, I'll see you later.